Hi guys, here is my follow-up video from my fruit vinegar video, and if you all watched that on my making my fruit vinegars, then you'll see I stumbled on making this ginger beer by making a ginger lemon fruit vinegar. Ended up never making because I ended up drinking it before the time. But anyways, this is my version of a really quick ginger beer that's really highly fermented and a little bit different than using a ginger bug. And if you prefer using a ginger bug, I do have a video on making a ginger bug, and I'll link that down in the description box below. But this one here is highly fermented, and it's some of the best ginger beer I have ever had in my life. And I've made a lot of ginger beers from my ginger bugs, and they're good, but this is on a different level. This is totally different. And I don't know if it's correct to do it this way or what, but everything comes out right, and it tastes wonderful. So anyways, we'll get on with the recipe and let me show you how I did it. Okay, to start, on day 1, we're going to need 3 large lemons, 2 large ginger roots, and that, it doesn't have to be precise, so don't worry about, exact, like, oh, what's large ginger roots? It can be as much ginger or little ginger as you want it to be. I just used 2 pretty good large chunks of ginger root. You'll need 2 quarts of water and a jar that's going to hold 2 quarts. I just made 2 quart size. You could reduce this down and make just 1 quart if you wanted. And a half a cup of sugar. And then we're just going to chop it all up and add it to the jar, and then add your water and your sugar. Stir it really good, and then cover it with a cloth. That's it. Set it on the counter, out of the sunlight. It doesn't have to be overly warm. I was able to ferment it took 3 or 4 days, but my shop was like in the 60s in the evenings. I don't even think it made it to 70s during the day. So, and it still fermented really good. Okay, on day 2 through day 7, you stir and cover with a cloth. That's it. You stir every day, 2 through 7. On day 8 is the day that I got a little worried because it didn't seem like it was fermenting or making vinegar like I thought it should. So I added, because I'm so used to ginger bugs, I added 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then I added 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And I think that's what made it taste so good. I never tasted the vinegar in the final product. So that I just stirred it up after I did that and covered it, and then just let it sit. And day 9 through 21, I did the same thing. I just stirred it every day and covered it back up with my cloth. And that was it. On day 21 is when I tasted it. I actually took the reading for the acidity, and it was highly acidic, which is good, so that way, it doesn't harbor any bacteria or anything. And I also used the hydrometer to find out if there was any alcohol in it, and I guess I have the wrong hydrometer or something. I don't know. I have to learn all about this hydrometer thing. But anyways, because it was at 0, and I could taste alcohol in it. And I think I have the wrong one. It's for sugar, the amount of sugar that's in it. I don't know. I can't. I have to do more research on that. So you don't need a hydrometer, and you don't need pH strips. You can use the pH strips if you have them, but you don't have to have them. It'll be plenty acidic. Okay, so after the 21 days, you're going to want to strain it out with a fine mesh strainer, kind of like this one here. And you're just trying to get rid of all that stuff right there, all the lemon and fermented ginger and everything, which you can compost or throw away or whatever you want to do with it, but you don't want it in your final product. So you just go ahead and strain it out, and I use a wide mouth strainer, and I'm just I use a 2 quart jar, but it's only gonna actually fill a quart, like a quart and a half, because of the lemon and the ginger took up a lot of room in there. But I'll go ahead and decant this into the 1 quart jar, and there'll be a little left over, and I'll probably just drink that, or I might, save it in a smaller pint jar or something like that. It just depends on how much. Plus, I used the hydrometer and wasted a little bit of my ginger beer too. So anyways, it'll make about, I don't know, just about a quart and a pint, quart to a quart and a half, or a quart and 3/4. But that's all you do is you just decant it and you're good to go. But I will say this, it is best to use a plastic lid if you have one. I mean, you can use the metal rings that come with the mason jars, but they can corrode after time, so you'll want to use the plastic ring. You can take saran wrap and put it on top and then screw down the metal lids, and that helps a bunch. But I mean, Walmart sells the plastic ones, and they're a lot better for storing it. And it should store for about 6 months in the refrigerator. Mine doesn't ever last that long. I drink it up in two weeks. But I mean, if you want to make a lot of them, you could store them up for quite a while. You might have to burp them occasionally because when you tighten down the lid, it's going to start fermenting a little bit. And especially if you keep it at room temperature. If you put it in the fridge, you're probably not going to have to burp it. But I have taken them out of the fridge and popped it open, and it's really fizzy, So you'll want to check that. But I don't think it would ever get fermented enough to explode or anything. There's just not enough sugar in it. But anyways, that's it. I hope you guys liked it. I'm going to go ahead and compost all this. It is excellent for your compost if you're into gardening and you have a compost pile. But yeah, this is the best stuff I have ever had. You've got to try it. It's super easy. You don't have to do a whole lot, just stirring it every day and that. But yeah, you've got to try it and let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and put the recipe in the description box below, and you guys, really, you got to try it. And also, if you haven't caught my fruit vinegar video, please check that out. I'll also have that down in the description box. And I've got a lot more videos coming, so please subscribe and like this video if you got any value out of it. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.